to try to implement the EditorFileDialog class and then remove the thing that is breaking the stuff that I have there. Then I'm going to study I'm going to probably study the file system doc, or just remember that I have to implement the bottom panel. So I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I know that the editor has the same functionality, just basically the stuff that shows up on the bottom there, just the command line stuff. Which I'm probably gonna try to implement. So I'm gonna do it as a doc probably, and I have to see how do they do with the. I think I'm gonna try to get the functionality from the editor and just do basically the same thing. Maybe they have a class already for this. So obviously if I can copy, then that's better, because less time to spend on this. But if I can't, then I'm gonna have to think about how to implement, which I think it might be annoying because of the options there. But either way, I might have to create another class to create this thing here, because probably I am going to create another class actually. I think that's probably what I'm gonna have to do. If they have on the editor, then what I'm gonna do is just change. So get the class that they have, start with that as a baseline, and then with time change how it works. I'm just gonna wait there to see if it's running. Nice. So I'm gonna do what I said before, which is just the same thing that I did with the editor spin slider. The editor spin slider is the class that they use to create the slider on the editor properties. So just copy the way that they did it, and I just put the prefix of my module instead. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Actually, I'm gonna copy the whole thing, so yeah, I'm gonna copy it and change later. Let's copy this. Alright, might be annoying though. This is the issue, is that they use a bunch of stuff from the editor. Everything that is from the editor, I'm going to comment out here, and what I'm gonna do is just see if I can delete everything that they use from the editor. Because I just want to make it work first, then I have to wait until I have the other stuff so I'm able to implement the functionality that I want, because now I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do, so doesn't make sense to try to implement anything now. And this is probably gonna be also the enums there. So this stuff might be annoying because it's related to the variance translation of types. And this structure they use on the pipelines that require, so for example, emitting signals, you're gonna have to translate the types. And also for reading and writing for true sync files. Reading and writing from and true sync files. So it might be problematic. At scale, I still don't understand. I don't understand how it works under the hood, but I know that it's a macro that they use to change different variables based on the scale. But I don't know how it works very well. Like how do you change the editor scale? I think it's based on the editor settings, but I don't understand why they did it like this. I think it might be because when you hold control and you uh, roll the wheel, you might change the scale of everything, but I never tested to see. But I know that the default is 1. So I think I'm just gonna erase this. And then if I need later, I'll change. And this is gonna be this macro here gets the settings from the editor. So I'm gonna have to comment everything out here, I think. Or just delete this function. I think it might be better if we just delete everything and then I just go over the flow of the thing that I think is most likely for me to use. Just gonna be the loading of the folder. So opening folders is probably and the first thing obviously that I'm thinking about is opening folders. Opening a file and opening a folder. And then maybe saving as well. But saving, I imagine that it might be like it's gonna be annoying because I'm gonna have to think about. Like it's gonna depend on the what the scene is gonna do, I think. Think. And the problem is that on the other one is the one that uses the editor file dialog. So I have to see from here. So update there. So I should probably remove everything and just copy the ones that then I see the errors from that standpoint. That's probably better. Let's see if it has a mid signal, a file selected. List. So let me see if I can remove this stuff. But the pop-ups probably it doesn't matter because it doesn't have anything, so I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna comment this one out. Because what this function is doing is just overriding the theme, as the name says, with the editor stuff. So obviously, might like maybe it would be easier to just use the editor stuff. But obviously, I think I'm gonna have to change anyway. But I could just find the assets that they use on the editor stuff, and then just copy and put on a local folder that I have there. Because in order to not have to use the editor functions and then refactor this stuff here. I think I'm gonna think about this stuff later because I'm much more concerned with functionality first, obviously. And it's partly the reason why I'm trying to do this, is just to remove, like, just want to keep as simple as possible and not add anything that's not gonna be useful. Because the only thing that matters to me is how useful it is. The rest of the stuff is like just noise. So let's see if I can remove as much as possible. But obviously, it's gonna like the more languages and stuff you put, it's gonna increase the complexity. So, but I wanna try to keep it as simple as possible if I can. There's gonna be stuff related to the thing. That's comments. This one I might not be able to delete. So I'm gonna have to see, I'm just gonna have to put a size here. So obviously what I can do is just open the editor and then the path here is gonna be the path you see on the editor of the sections. So you just get the value and replace the value. Because I think the item list is probably what they use to display whatever is on the current thing. So update file list. I think that this function is probably essential for the thing to work. I think is probably what happens when you click on the selection there to display like the options. Because line item, as far as I remember, are a line item is a line item is the thing to write, I think. It's like the box you write stuff. And this one is probably the one that creates options. Whatever. So I'm just gonna open the editor, get the value, replace the value. So Their access is the class that they use to manage folders. So it's just getting the current directory and then getting the name of the file, I think, or the folder. Yeah, this function is similar to the one that I was using there, which I got from some other parts of the code. And the one that I got was that for search, so recursively traversing the directory to get everything. So I think here they are doing breadth first search on the directory. And the next is just the next item on the list, I think. So based on the path that they get initially, it goes editor file system. It always seems that the best way is to try to copy as much as possible and simplify. Like the problem is like I'm not really sure because I don't wanna build on top of like unnecessary stuff. But I'm not really sure if it's worth it to spend time. Like maybe it is better to just do it from scratch. I think that like for this one, I'm probably gonna do what I'm doing now, just easier. But like this is the problem is that everything is connected, so there's gonna be like they use other classes from the editor, And the file system doc's probably gonna use the editor file system, and that's why I'm thinking about this now. It's kind of hard because I'm going to. I'm not really sure like how. I think that I want to avoid is if they design the class to have a bunch of stuff that is going to be related to manipulating scenes and stuff like that, and then it's just going to become like it's not going to be very good for the stuff that I'm trying to do. And I imagine that, but yeah, so I think that's like it's kind of hard to gauge the overlap. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So how close the stuff that they did is to the stuff that gonna do? Because obviously there is common things about the two. Because what I'm trying to do is gonna be like this stuff is gonna be related, not this one, but the file system doc that I'm trying to do is just basically the system like here. But this system is obviously related to the file system doc that they have on the editor. But I think the functionality changes because I think you have to change what happens when you select the file and stuff like that. So it depends on the application. But the question is, what is the best way to figure out what is essential and what's not essential, and how to translate so I don't waste time. Let me go back from here. So the only ones that I'm using, so this one doesn't matter, or the other ones. So the only functions I'm using are this shoe for now. And then I'm gonna use the one that has the signal as well. So this one comes from the window. So this is the only function that shows up there, which means I can delete everything else. So I guess I should look into the constructor. Select drive. Look, did I change by mistake? I think I did. It's confusing because here it wants there. Update there. This is the one that I was gonna see. Just gonna remove this one. System file dialog. Size 64. I'll try to build again just to see the errors. Why is this undefined? It's probably because it was pretty sure, yeah, this is from the editor, so it's probably getting from another editor thing. So SingGUI line edit H. This is for keyboard shortcuts, I think. I'm just gonna comment it out for now. There's also complaining about item list. Discard list. I'm gonna see if I can comment this out. Because for the file system doc, I'm gonna have to create another class. It's probably gonna be with the same prefix for the module, and then just do the same stuff that I'm doing here. Just remove all this stuff related to the editor, and then I'm gonna incorporate here. This might be annoying. It might be better to do the file system doc. And this is kind of the problem that I was thinking, and then I was saying before that because everything has a bunch of dependencies, I don't want to get caught up into translating all the classes. So I think it makes sense for this one to depend on the other one, because this one's gonna show like the files, and they probably use the same. They probably use file system doc for anything that is gonna show file icons and like files in general. So it only happens here. As the easiest thing to do is just share comment it out. I'm gonna comment out this stuff here. The thing about starting from zero and doing everything is that it might be just a waste of time for the like just to think about the algorithms for this stuff. Because I think that I could probably simplify a lot if I start from scratch. That's the thing. Because for the stuff that I'm gonna do, probably I'm not gonna need a bunch of stuff. But then it's gonna take a bunch of time. And so the thing is, I have to understand first for like from this class what is related to the other one. So I think to simplify, it's probably better to start with the other one first. The main thing is that I need is to display the folders and files, and then to understand how the functionality of the selection of files work. Here. So on VS Code, if you click once, it opens the file. And then on the right click, it shows up the options here. It might be better to just, I think for the file system docs, probably better to do it from scratch because I think it can simplify a lot if I do it from scratch. So just have to extract understand the logic that they use to render the files, and this is kind of like the annoying part because like you just spend a bunch of time looking into unnecessary stuff that's not related. But maybe it's gonna be easier. It's gonna get easier obviously the more I look at it. So for this one is a lot more annoying, I think, because there's other stuff involved, like navigating between the files. Yeah. So let me comment. I'm gonna comment everything out. Try to build. Try to remove as many errors as possible to see if I can build. And then probably when I open there or when I try to use, there's gonna be a bunch of stuff that doesn't work, but it doesn't matter. Also, this is for selecting favorites. This one is probably gonna remove this because it doesn't matter for the stuff that I'm doing there. So I'm just gonna remove everything related to this. This is kind of the thing that I said that is kind of annoying because I should probably remove everything related to this favorites because it doesn't matter for the stuff that I'm doing there. I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna go on the side of removing more stuff, and then if I need there for the other class, then I put back. I think that's probably better. As much stuff I can remove, the better. Yeah, but this is the issue actually because I was confusing this one with the file system doc. I think this one is gonna be for the one, but even then, I think yeah, I think I'm gonna remove and then I'm gonna try to add again because it's also gonna force me to understand more by studying the other one how it works. In the beginning, it's gonna be annoying, and then it's gonna get easier once I understand how it works. It's obviously is about optimizing how much work you do for like the smallest, let's say, amount of work possible to the highest reward. I'm just gonna remove everything related to shortcuts now. remove all this stuff. Just whatever. This is from the editor as well. I'm just gonna remove. So I guess this is just related to the editor functionality. I'm gonna remove. Yeah, try again. I should just remove this stuff. Make it easier. If it is something that I need, then I just search later. It's probably easier. Or I think about how to do it myself. I study more the way that the way that it works, and then extract the fundamental principles and try to implement on my stuff. I want to avoid doing that as much as possible, as much as possible because it's just more work. So I'm always trying to gauge or try to find the way to do the least amount of work to get the most amounts of results, obviously. It's probably complaining about the editor comes to get singleton. I think probably yeah, the essential classes are going to be the OS, the basically these classes with the singleton are the ones the dir access, the file access. OS, dir access, and file access should be like the main classes should deal with everything related to the operational system or to the file system. I think that's like the other ones are going to be classes just to display the information. But it's still very annoying to think about like the position of everything and how they did it. So that's that part I'm trying to avoid as much as possible. So deleted this function probably, and then delete here. Actually, this one is the one that I commented out, I think. Yeah, because it depends on the file system. So it was on the other one, this one. We'll go just like this. So it is kind of annoying because I'm not really sure what is the best thing to do. But I think probably from the roots of the projects might be better. because I'm not 100% sure how scones figures out the paths. I assume because this is on the same directory, it's gonna be like the relative path. So it's just gonna be either the file about the folder, or I can use the path from the root of the project, which is gonna be the like absolute path, let's say. So it's probably better to try to use the absolute path. So there's two things. I think that probably I'm gonna try to implement the bottom panel first because it's more annoying to do it. And I don't think I implemented from the. I might remove there because I added manually last time. So I have to just add here. Yeah. So as child of this thing. So this is the base. Then I think this is the main navbar here. So it would be a child of this thing. I have to include. Should probably. It's not the dialogue. Yeah, I forgot. The navbar. Should probably put a margin container as well. Let me see on the editor what they. The editor they do the title bar. Which I think it is a. Is HBox container. I think for my thing there, I'm just gonna put margin container. If I need, I'll change later. Yeah, nice. So, yeah, these things I don't have, and the icons here. I guess I have the functionality probably, but I don't. Yeah, have the functionality, but I don't have the icons. I think. And the other annoying thing is that this only shows for the. I'm gonna try to put a path on the system to the downloads. Just see if it's gonna navigate there. And it doesn't go there. So I think I'm gonna have to just study the class and then try to think about how to change the functionality. That's probably what I'm gonna do. Oh. Like the annoying thing is that for assets, you like obviously makes sense from the way that from that perspective, like but they design things in a way that every project that you're gonna do, you're gonna have your own assets. But obviously, I wanna do like something that all the projects are gonna be able to have. So I can put a folder on the source code there. I guess I can put as part of the module that I have there. Maybe that's the best option. Yeah, so I have to see how they do. So I'm gonna search that function there, the get editor icon, I think, or something like that. And then I can just basically copy the functionality and just change instead of doing the path that they do there. I just create another folder on the module that I have there, and I just put the assets on that module. I guess I could do that for the icon side tab as well. Yeah, I was thinking about when I did the icon side tab, I was thinking about whether or not to put the icons as part. Because the way that yeah, but that one I think that it makes more sense to put as part of the project because of the path. Because I'm using the other function, I'm using the function from the class that they use, which uses the. So I guess I have to study the file system class because I think there's three different modes. I forgot the third one, but one of them is access file system, the modes. The other one's for the project, which I also forgot the enum that they use. And based on that, they select like they do the functionality of the class to handle the special characters that you have. So like this pattern here is for whenever you want to access the file system from the project's perspective. So I think probably on the class that they have on the editor file dialog, they put the functionality here based on the root of the project. So the main reason why I did the icon sidebar based on the roots is because I'm using the other function, and because I got the other function from the other function that I did on the other parts. So it's basically the function that uses the dir access to open, because I didn't want to think about that stuff, I just wanted to make it work. So it's basically this function here from the dir access that opens the file. But I guess I don't need to, if I use the other, so yeah, this is probably what I'm gonna have to do now. So I'm gonna have to study this dir access, file access, probably the OS. So the question is how to do this. How to study each one, because there's a lot of stuff that I have to study. I can either do this now, or I can just study the bottom panel first and then get rid of that stuff. But either way, like all of these things are gonna, they're gonna depend on the dir access and the file access. So I guess I have to spend a bunch of time studying this because it's gonna make it easier to build everything else. I wanted to do the bottom panel just so I can get rid of this stuff on my mind, so I can like free up space to focus on other stuff. Yeah, but this function here, yeah, so this is the enums, so it's access resource, access user data. So these are the two special paths, and then this one I think is for the whole thing. So probably on the other one they use the access resources for the functionality on the EditorFileDialog. So I guess I can, let me see the function. Like the annoying thing about the bottom panel is that like to resize, the sizing of the stuff is kind of annoying. So like to make it work, because of the way that the layout works and the way that the split containers work, it might change the whole thing I have here. It's like in order to make this work, you have to put children, and to do the split between the two, you have to put two children. But if I want to split the other one, is this one, then I'm gonna have to add another one, I think, by accident. So I'd have to do this, I think. Put another thing here. I put this one here. And then I put another one. And I think for to make it so that they are, yeah, I have to put so this is another annoying thing, because like the way that they did is the other way around. So I wanted to put the minimum size on this one. I guess I can, if you change to expand, maybe it goes all the way there. Oh, nice. So I have to remember all this stuff and then code that stuff on the scene there. It's not hard, I think, but it's just annoying. I put some minimum size here. So first do the containers, and then from the containers I will choose what. So I have to create the file, then based on the file, I'm gonna select names for this stuff, or these things here. And then based on the the components that I put there. So I'm gonna do this right now. I'm gonna do the panel doc because it's not that hard. Just annoying. So I'm gonna get rid of this stuff so that it works there. And once I do that, then I think about it. And I'm probably gonna study I think I'm gonna study the editor file dialog and try to understand how it works. Maybe actually get rid of this stuff of the icons first. So I have to think about a way to maybe I can look into the other modules and then because I know that other modules have other things. And I think that if I use assets on the module, I'm gonna have to call some stuff on the uninitialized function of the module. So I think I'm gonna look into I'm gonna write down some like simple steps here. So look for other module examples that use assets. Create icon folder on umbrella. Setup. Yeah, so after I have to study the thing first. So study how editor handles or loads. Yeah, but this is the thing. I think probably not gonna change the icon sidebar because the way that I did the class is so that I'm able to use on any project. So if I do the icons for the sidebar on the module folder, then it's gonna be coupled to the module. Yeah, and I want to be able to use. Just slightly annoying because then like every project that every project that I'm gonna create that is gonna use this stuff, I'm gonna have to create a folder, and then I'm gonna have to put the icons based on the folder, because that's the way that I created the class. It was the only way that I thought about, I could think about putting the elements that are gonna be for each icon. And the question is whether or not I would use this stuff on. I guess I'm not gonna change this, like this one for now. I'm just gonna set up the icons for the other one. As I was thinking about this as well, that at some point, after I figure out this other stuff with docs and the other parts, I was gonna create either probably functions. Obviously, either functions or classes to deal with or to create different themes. But I think it makes more sense to create. Maybe it makes sense to create both. The editor uses they create a class, I think, for the editor thing. But the way that it works, as far as understanding the way that they design, you can create actually like you have to no you don't have to create a new class for the thing. You need to create like instances of the style box class, and then from those with those instances you can change the thing. So either you create a new class and then you inherit from the thing class, and then on that class you put functionality to create a new thing, or you create functions that just create style boxes, and then the style boxes change specific things. So if you want a button with styles, for example, you can create a function that creates a style box, and I think I did here. Basically, I copied the way that they did for, as far as I know, as far as I understand now, the editor this slider of the editor is different on the scroll container. So it's basically using like this. You initialize the style box flat, and then you put the style here, and then you stats on the theme. Just base here I'm using the base theme class. So every time you set this, it creates like it allows you to customize that specific thing. So from the for the class for the things scroll container class. No, I think is the thing that is used on the scroll container. But the reason why they did it like this is so that you're able to create like a style that is consistent across different parts. So if you want to have a button, for example, you would figure out the names here. So just search for the set style box they have on the some function that sets up the editor thing. They're gonna have a bunch of this. So get an example from there. And then you create a style. So either it was gonna create a function or a class. I think for the icons it's gonna be like it's kind of similar. So so it's gonna be like so maybe I should create a theme folder. Yeah, I'm gonna create a theme folder on the module, and then inside of the theme folder I put the assets, and then I'm gonna put the other stuff for themes I put there on the folder. I think that's probably the best thing to do. I don't know why it's not finding anything. Oh, it's because I put in this. Yeah, so this is the default theme. Here they have a bunch of examples. I guess I can put there. The one that I put there for the icon is not gonna show here. I don't remember. Because it should be showing here, so maybe something is wrong now. If I put a lot of stuff, I think it's gonna show, but it's kind of weird. Because as far as I remember, since the last time that I tested, it was showing. So let me continue the stuff there. I'm gonna create the folder now. Actually, it's gonna be just icons stuff. So probably what I'm gonna do is just use the same ones that they use on the editor for now. And I'll think about it later. I guess I can have both situations as well. Hmm. So I can change the icon sidebar so that it tries to find. Yeah, maybe I think that's probably better actually. So like I have icons for default values, and then the default values I use the icons here, and then I create functions on this one to manage the sets at different values if you want. So I'm gonna do that. So the way that it is based on the name. So the name of the icon is going to be the same name as the. I'm going to put. Let me do this first. So this is the main split, I think. So this is gonna be the one that is different. I think this split. No, it's the other one. So the main one is that, and this one is the one on the left, and this one will be the one on the right, or the in 3D splits. This. So it's yeah, it should be on the code editor. So this one, instead of using the other, I have to do this. I have to see. I guess it just set vertical. Set vertical. It's gonna be true. Maybe false. Let me try. Then on the other one, I have to set the flag. I need to create another panel. So this one's gonna be. I think this is correct. Pretty sure this uh, so goes all the way almost. Let's put 20. The problem is it's gonna start with this value. This is a whole nother thing to think about, which is how to after you resize, how to make sure that you like it remembers that, or if is that if that's even possible. Because the issue is the way that is designed. That's kind of the problem. So like the size of in the beginning here that it's gonna have, it has to be controlled by the minimum size, I think. This is added. So this is the second one that you have to add. And you can't change the actual size because it depends on the parent container because of the way that they design these classes. So this is the issue. So like the problem is like even though you can change there after initialize you can move. I have to select a somewhat big one and it's always going to start at that position instead of starting from the last place that you put. I guess you can remember, like you can click in the same way that they do here. You can click to. But maybe this one is start. Maybe this one can start at different positions. I guess I can get the minimum size from this one. I think they have a terminal here as well on the debugger. So I'm just gonna think about this later. I'm gonna get the things there now for the size. I'm just gonna make sure. So I think that it is correct here, so I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna run to see if it is a compile and run. So this is supposed to be the main split there, then you create another one. And then this other one's gonna be the one outside. So I should probably, I'm gonna leave this like outside of here. So setting the vertical, then add as a child of the other one. And this one is the first one. Create the flags. I'm pretty sure that is bottom panel, the way that they call here. Yeah. So they use another class for this, which is probably what I'm gonna do as well. So maybe instead, but this probably inherits from. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this. Then probably what I'm gonna do is just copy this class. Maybe so it depends on how. But I think that this is probably not that big of a class. So maybe I should switch right now. Or just copy and do the same thing that I did for the other stuff. So it looks like it only uses one other editor class. So I should try to compile in the way that I have there, see if it works, and then translate this one before I move on to the other stuff. And like it's only initializing this. It's kind of weird, but so instead of using the panel, I can use this directly there, I think. And then I can just add functionality. I'm gonna call it another name though. So I'm gonna put terminal or something like that. Because this is like something that is very specific. So I don't think I'm gonna reuse or like try to create something generic. So I'm gonna call it terminal, I think. But probably the functional. I think that this is only the wrapper that they use, and the functionality is on the other stuff. Or maybe not. That's kind of weird. So I guess not. No, I think so. This is the main one that they use probably. But I thought that there was more functionality to show everything that the panel shows there. And it looks like it doesn't have anything on this one as well. This one is probably the one that is on top. So I think that this top split is probably the one that shows the visualization there of the game. Or this one. probably a child of the top split. So I think that this is a parent, and so I'm just gonna translate this one, the bottom panel. Maybe so I should compile this first and then see if it is the format that I want there. Then after that, I translate the file, the class, and then replace this one with the other. I'm gonna call it terminal, I think, or something like that. Maybe terminal doc is better. I think calling terminal docs is probably better, because otherwise it might be confusing to understand. Yeah, so it is what I wanted, so just the size there. So I'm gonna translate the other class. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about this stuff here. But I think for resizing, I'm going to look into I'm gonna have to study the file system. So yeah, once I implement the file system, I'm probably gonna change the way that I'm doing this thing here because I'm just using this scroll container now. So I'm gonna copy the way that they do it here. So basically, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did for the other one. I wonder if I put inside of here or not. Because the terminal is not really like it's kind of a weird thing. It's not really a GUI element. Not really sure if I. Because otherwise, like everything would be there on the folder. I guess I'm just gonna put here and think about this later. I'm gonna put terminal doc. This probably doesn't matter that much, so. I have to copy from the other one actually. There might be a lot more stuff that they use from the editor, but I'm just gonna delete because obviously there's gonna be the functionality there, and I'm probably gonna have to change anyway. Uh, so most likely what is gonna happen is that I'm going to just initialize other classes because it's gonna depend on how I'm gonna make this work here. I'm not gonna do exactly the same as this one probably, but I think that whatever I do inside this functionality, I'm just gonna create other classes and then I'm gonna add them as children of this one. Then I implement the functionality on the other ones. I guess I have to, like, maybe a good idea is to go over with the debugger and see how does the logic to switch between the selections that they have there works. Because I'm probably gonna need to put different segments on this stuff here. I think this is fine. Yeah, so I have to see. So I'm gonna test first to see if the size, if the I forgot that I have to copy here first. I'm gonna test to see if it initializes with the zero size, like it's gonna be on the bottom there, because then I think that that's probably what's gonna happen because the size is gonna be determined by the split that is the parents, which is the center split that they have. So I think that they determine the size based on the other class, not the bottom panel, which is this one that adds the other one as child. And I do remember there is some stuff there, but I don't remember really well. So I'm probably gonna go over with the debugger to see how it works. I think the one that I remember was clicking on the outputs there. I think I searched for the either a tooltip or just the name of the thing. It was probably a tooltip. And then from that, I was able to see the function that they use there to uh, either show the bottom panel or hide. But I think it's just gonna be calling the function there. It's not that hard to understand. Probably all these classes were being included from the editor. Okay, singular split container. This one it is just the thinner thing. Just string. But it's probably better to just comment this out because I think it requires you to have the module level, the editor level for the module. Otherwise, it's gonna break. It's probably better to remove, and then I'll think about this later. As I can just look into the, can just so it's probably this function here that the one that they use to hide the thing, but I think it uses canvas item. So I'm pretty sure that this is the function. So the top get top split is gonna be the the other one. So it's kind of weird that it's setting on the top. Yeah, so I think it determines the size of this based on the other one. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna have to understand how they do the center splits. It's probably better to just step over and then study the other stuff. I'm just gonna get to compiled and replace, then I'll go over with the debugger. And I'll change the class again. So I'm gonna copy this one just to put on the scene there, because it's basically the same stuff. The editor class that they have there just inherits from split container, and they probably add some functionality. I think it's as this one. It's basically the same. Yeah, the center split is the one that contains both. The top split would be this one, and the center split is this one on my case. So just gonna set the same stuff that they do there on the other one. And let me see what they do for the top splits. But the issue is that on the top split it's gonna be different because they have more stuff. Putting both here. And they don't do this. So I have to see first. So, because I'm gonna have to get the other one first. So make the other class work then puts here. I just remove this stuff. Editor nodes. So the top split would be the one that is the so they are so this is the problem. They are hiding the one that is on outside of this node. That's how they are doing the functionality. Actually, this is kind of weird. Because in my mind, if it is in the way that I'm thinking about, like when the top one hides, the bottom one should go all the way to the top, I think. So I don't understand why they use the top split to. So I'm gonna remove this and then I'll see. I think this one I can leave like this because of the way that I'm gonna use this on the other. So this, in my case, would be the IDE thing there that I have. I think it's fine. Yeah, so this is probably for changing the different things that show there. Yeah, so to show and to hide is just the canvas item stuff probably. So they have the first one's probably the one that has the functionality, and then the other ones are just calling the first button. So config file is gonna be from the editor, I think. That's core. So I'm just gonna put there because they were probably including from the thing. But this is the class that is used for saving the configurations on the editor, I think. Oh yes, it's a split, not it's calling this on the other one, I think. On the panel split, not actually no, it's because it's different because the other one is a split. The top split's a split, obviously it's not a panel. Because they are gonna add stuff here. So I'm just gonna remove. I'll be right back. I'm probably gonna have to download a bunch of icons for, or find a bunch of icons for different programming languages. Hmm. So I forgot to put. So the size was on the other one, I think. I had to add another one. Oh, it's this one that I deleted. So I'm gonna leave it like this because it doesn't matter that much. And I'm probably gonna have, like, in order to do the stuff, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to think about how to do. But actually, I didn't change, so that's why it's still like this. So next, the search for the icon stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna do the icons, see if I can, because some of the functionality that I removed from the file dialog might have fucked up the way that it looks there. But I'm gonna see if I figure out the icons and then I uncomment the one that I commented out, if it is like decent enough. And then after that I step over, or maybe I'll do both at the same time. Step over to figure out how it works. there's a bunch of courses and other stuff that I'm doing, so I don't want to spend a bunch of time here because there's a lot of stuff that I want to study. This version thing I'm gonna remove from here, but I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. Is this thing that is showing up here? So the only thing that makes sense to me is like the functionality is coming from somewhere else, but it's gonna be easier to see if I just step over. I think that the toggle outputs bottom panel. That's what I did last time, probably to see how it works. I think I didn't understand. I think bottom panel. So on the add item is the functionality. So now I think I understand. So the functionality for each section is coming from these other classes and is adding them with add item. Mm. So where does the other one come from? Oh. I guess it has to come from here. Like all the other stuff have to come from this one if that's the only one that is being added there. I'm gonna remove the version thing. I'm not gonna focus on this now. Maybe I should set the. Yeah, I should set this one as well, probably. I set the minimum size on this one. It doesn't have minimum size. This is the one that I'm setting probably, yeah. So I'm setting on the wrong one. I was gonna remove the version thing. And for now, I'm gonna leave uh, with a minimum size here, and then think about how to do this later. I was gonna look into the the icon stuff. So I'm gonna forget about the terminal stuff now. So is this? No. Yeah, this. So get editor theme icon. Yeah, this is. Oh, I forgot about the margin thing here, so I'm gonna do that now. Pretty sure I did margin at some points. Was on the icon sidebar. Just gonna do this. Here. So maybe I can just on comments. Hmm. What is get editor theme icon? So how is on the window class? I guess I'm gonna try to on comments and see if it works. But I think I probably deleted some stuff that is necessary. So like the next thing that I'm gonna do is to go over with the debugger. And I'm pretty sure there is some stuff. There is some functions on the editor, as far as I remember, that gets different icons. But maybe it is coming from the window, so it means you're always gonna have access to, so it doesn't matter. I was gonna. Oh, I probably deleted the function. So these are the ones that I wanted to see. So I'm just gonna step over and then study this. I'm gonna study this class, the editor file dialog, and then I'm gonna study the file system doc through the editor file dialog. So I'm just gonna put a breakpoint here. Oh, it's gonna change the icon sidebar as well. So after I check this, I'm gonna try to go over quickly on this and then debug. I have to see. So like I'm gonna ask. Probably the ChatGPT is not gonna be good for this. To see like what path should I put if I'm not using the path from the. Because this is the problem, I think. 'Cause it's gonna depend, obviously. Yeah, like how do you do it actually? No, but I guess it doesn't. It only matters. Like when you export the game, it's gonna put that inside of the executable, or it's gonna put it on the back package file. But I guess this is the like how does the file system encode the information regardless of where the data is gonna be? Or does it write the actual icon on the executable so it doesn't matter the path? So does the path for the thing that only matters when you're building the game, or does it matter after? I think it only matters when you're building. That would make more sense. Sure. Yeah, so it didn't change anything, so it's probably something that I deleted that does the functionality. So I'm just gonna step over. Yeah, I also have to understand why it only goes to the root of the project and doesn't allow you to go over other directories. This one has icons here. I was mainly gonna look into. So it looks like it doesn't do anything. I think it's gonna be a waste of time to like explore the whole thing, just see how they use the icons. If I just quickly go over each class. Maybe load better. Or resource loader. I'm just gonna search for. You mainly wanna see the path. What kind of path they use. It's probably not here. It might be a waste of time. It's probably better just to test there. We'll test different paths on the thing that I have. Going over other one. Probably, yeah, it's the same file, so. I'm just gonna test, it's easier than looking into the other ones. Just realized that I didn't need to create the folder. It already shows the name. So this one is I'm doing like this now. So what I'm gonna task is, so I have to see how it works here. Runs, begins with. Yeah, so if I don't put anything, what happens? The only concern that I have with this, I'm gonna leave I'm not gonna delete the other way that I was doing because I'm not really sure how it's gonna work when you, I guess I can test, like I can just export right away, just with track exports, you need to create a custom, I think. You need to compile. So like the game version, the exported version is the template that they use is just the editor. So you compile for you compile as if you would compile the normal version without the target equals editor, and then you use that executable as a template. So I have to compile because I want to use the custom one, which is the one that has the classes that I'm creating. So if I just use the same template, it's not going to work because it doesn't have the same classes. So the thing that I'm not sure about is if I use this path, if it works like this and I use this relative path, then what happens on the exported version? But I think what happens is that all that matters, like, and I think that it has to be the case because otherwise, like, how would it work? So the paths and this stuff only matters for when you're building the project. So when you're using the editor. Yeah, but how would it work? Because if you open from the project, it's not the same thing. Yeah, so this is kind of the issue. So maybe it's better to just leave it the way that it is there. So, like with this pattern, it makes sense because then the class is gonna handle the translation between like paths. So I guess this is the function that is responsible. So if you don't pass the special path, you're just gonna get whatever path you have right now. So this is gonna find the directory probably. Yeah, it has to, based on the pattern. Hmm. I think that I'm just gonna leave it the way that it is because it's just too annoying. So it's not worth it. But like probably what you do is just put the absolute path. But I think it's just annoying, so it doesn't matter that much. So let me stop over. I'm gonna open the editor first and then look for tooltips on the file dialog, editor file dialog. Then I'm gonna put the breakpoints there and then I'm gonna see what is the difference between the one that they have there and the one that I have now. I think it opens here. This one is more important. Flash files. The favorite one probably I'm gonna search anyway just to see how it works. So I wanna clarify how it works. So I'm not really sure if I'm gonna do it the same way. Like I wanna like make it more and more clear on how it's supposed to work, and then I'll think about it. Yeah, also this stuff here that I wanted to see how it works, but I'm not really sure. I'll just search for this. So go to parent folder. And this one, I think I deleted all this stuff because this was with, yeah, it was for the like had editor functionality. Yeah, I don't care about, yeah, I don't care about this one and this one. This one was probably the other ones that I deleted as well. That's why not showing on the thing. And the other thing that I have to see is why it's not showing, but it's probably because of the get color there that I don't have. But I want to see how they do the files as well. So I'm just gonna, so I think that is because of this function here that is not showing the icons for the folders. This is for the folder icon color. But it doesn't say anything about files here, that's why it's weird. So maybe it's another function that creates this. It's probably this thing here, actually. So it gets the color from there, and then it starts from here. And because I'm not getting the color, I commented out the other one. So I think this item list class is the one that has the logic to draw the file and the folder. Probably. So other thing that I can do is just comment out this stuff as well here. I'm gonna study these ones first. Then after I do this, then I'm gonna comment out the parts there that I think that are the ones that are responsible for creating the icon, the folder icon, and the file icon. So this is the function that is gonna call there when you click on the thing, on the refresh thing. Save file list. It doesn't say anything about the navigation and so forth. And maybe if I search for this, because when you select an item, it probably changes the path. It just shows here, it doesn't show here. When you, yeah, so when you click on the folder, double click on the folder, it goes through it changes the path here. So it's gonna be something related to folders. I guess I'm gonna put a breakpoint on all of them first, and then I'll search for the one on the folder. And it's always it's gonna be on the same spots there, all of them. Just here. Yeah, so these are gonna be the functions that are related to the navigation there. It has to be a line edit, the thing. So I think is this. This is gonna have. It's probably gonna emit the signal, and it's gonna be connected to the function there. It has to be a line edit because that's the one that is used to write stuff. So, but maybe in the navigation, I guess I can check here if I put the name there, if it's gonna open. I think if you write here, so it does go there. So it should be text submitted or something. I forgot what event it is. The problem, so, no, maybe because it has to connect on here. I think it's gonna emit the events on the other class, the line edit, but it has to connect here. Let's see this one. It's probably this function here, the one that's. No, but I think that yeah, this happens probably after you select. Let me see line edit. There's 3 different line edits. Text submitted. Action process. So it has to be this function here, the one that is responsible for navigating the directories. Mode, file, open files. So they probably do based on this thing. But I don't understand, like, if it is this function here, I don't understand why. So I guess the easiest way is just to step over. I don't understand why it would force should be on the rest if it could be an absolute path. So the easiest thing to do is just to step over. So I'm pretty sure I already have the breakpoints. Oh, didn't do this. What's here? Yeah, so maybe it is because of. So I assume that probably most, like, this is definitely the one that goes up the directory, but on the one that you after putting the tags there, it's probably the same thing that's calling change there, and because of the way that it's calling, is gonna be restricted to the project. I got current directory, but this is definitely not the one for after entering the tags. I'm just gonna step over. I'm probably gonna stay for another 20 minutes. I'm gonna do 15 minutes. Oh, the other thing I have to, but I think it's gonna be easier to see, because I'm pretty sure I already went a couple of times. It's gonna be after you select the file, it's gonna be on the action press, and I think the only thing that happens is that the way you couple the functionality is gonna be through the event, through the signal. So after the action press is gonna meet file selected, I think. So I have to couple that outside of the class on the function that creates the scene. So you create the two things, then you connect. So like after I create the file system doc there, I connect the signal. Yeah, but like this is gonna be kind of annoying as well. Because the way that I did things, every time that I click the icon, is gonna remove the node from the scene. So I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to test to see if the signal is gonna stay even after the node is changed, or I'm gonna have to think about a different way to do things. But probably through the signal is the best way because then it doesn't force me to couple with the or to create based on names that as I was thinking about last time. Yeah, so probably that's the way that is gonna work. Like the functionality of regardless of how many options I put on the menu there, the functionality is gonna be based on signals, and then you couple outside of the class through the signals that the pop-up menus emit after each thing. It's yeah, it's probably coming from the file system doc. Yeah, this is the function that I was thinking about when it comes to the, but I guess it comes from the window, so it doesn't matter. Oh, so it sets the mode outside of the class. Hmm. So probably what I should do is copy this stuff and put on the constructor of the class that I have there. I think on mine is gonna be the navbar. It's gonna be this. Oh yeah, there's this. So these I'm probably gonna connect outside. So I get the file from I create a function that returns the file, and then I connect outside. This is to set the types that are gonna show on the thing as the extensions of the package thing. Mm. I think I'm gonna comment out this. I'm just gonna delete. I'll think about this later. So I'm thinking about when I search like for the stuff that I'm gonna do. Probably like it's gonna be It's mainly gonna be folders. I think. That, yeah, but it's gonna be both folders and files. So for files, it's probably gonna be the extensions for programming files like JavaScript, C++, stuff like that. So I'm thinking whether or not I'm gonna do this and how it's gonna work, and it's probably gonna have to work outside of this class here. So that's what I'm trying to clarify. But I think I'm just gonna delete this for now. I'm gonna comment out so I remember later when I guess the time to do this. Like this, I still think it's probably better to leave it like this as the class, but it's making me question whether or not it's worth it to do it like this. 'Cause the main reason why I'm putting this inside of a class is because of the tooltip. So because of the way that it works, which I don't understand very well, but because of the way that the menu bar works and the pop-up menu works, if I connect them from outside of classes, then it doesn't show the tooltip. But it makes more sense, I think, like for most of the things, it's probably gonna be done outside of the class. So like the point of this, I think, is just gonna be to add the options, but it is kind of annoying as well but I think it doesn't matter that much. Like I can have default options and then I can create functions to change the options. And then I can create another data structure inside of the class to have like dynamic options and just leave like default ones that I can find a way later, I think. So it sets the path based on this. And then it sets the directory based on this. So I think that this is the reason why it only shows the RAS directory there. So that's the thing. Yeah, so it's probably how it works. Don't remember now if the one that this one is showing the the RAS path or is showing the absolute path. So I'm gonna comment this out. And delete the RAS. It's probably later I'm going to test to see if I put something else inside of here, if it's gonna, or if I don't need to put anything and it's gonna be able to figure out or find paths. Another problem that I just realized is that for this one is only gonna open files, and I'm not really sure if there is an option on the editor to open folders. So I'm gonna have to search to see if there's an example, and if there isn't, I'm gonna have to change the logic here. 'Cause I think the first thing that I wanna test is opening a folder and then changing the whatever shows here. I think that now I should probably just focus on figuring out the file system doc first because the functionality of this is going to be connected to the file system. So I'm going to figure out the file system doc first, then use that as the first one, the default. And the first icon that shows up there is going to be related to the file system doc. Then once I understand file system doc well, and I fix the icons, then I'll think about the functionality. Owns the title. So I'm gonna comment these things out. This one is already there. So we're just gonna press F5. Yeah, so it looks like is the action pressed probably. Oh no, this is on the line edit. So the first one that calls is this one. Which happens here. Yeah, this one. Item selected. So now I double clicked there, the folder. I, I don't understand why it's already the updated folder. So obviously that should happen before. And this should be the first function that calls there, so I don't understand why this returns the updated directory already. It has to be like has to be some breakpoint, I think, but like it would show here, I think. So it's probably something on the either to do with the file system or the dir access that happens after you click there to update the state. Here is just gonna update whatever shows on the new one. I'm gonna stop streaming now, so I'm gonna continue this another time. So I'm gonna study other stuff that I have to study. And then next time, I think I'm just gonna continue to do this. So I'm not gonna do it anymore off stream. And yeah, well, I'm gonna figure out mainly the icons now here. So once I fix the icons on the one that I have there on the class that I created, and after I fix, I'm going to do the same thing that I did for this class with the file system doc. So just remove enough things to make it work, and then just spend a bunch of time studying these classes to understand more how they work, and then after that incorporate the connection between whatever happens on the first thing that I want to see. I think that there isn't an option here to open folders, so I'm probably gonna have to create. So change the class that they have there, and so I have to figure out the functionality that they use to like what happens before that function that I was just seeing that runs when you select the folder. Yeah, so I'm just gonna spend more time studying this class until I understand like how everything works. Then after that, the first thing that I'm gonna incorporate is just something that opens a folder. So an option that click open a folder, and then based on like after that from the other class on the scene, the actual scene, I'm going to connect the file system doc to that signal that this stuff is gonna emit, and then based on that, I'm gonna change the state of the scene. So I think once I have that, then I'm going to go back to studying assembly, probably. Oh, so this option here looks like, so this just opens the folder. Yeah, we're gonna stop here. Next time, we're gonna continue to do this stuff here. So see you then.